Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so very much for joining me for your October 2023 Tarotscope. In the description box below, you will find links to all sorts of goodies, including my social media, information on personal readings, and information on donations if you would like to explore any of those avenues. You will also find a timestamp in the description box if you would like to jump to the start of your reading. Please do keep in mind that this is a collective reading, not a personal reading, so take only what resonates with you and leave the rest. I would like to start off first by apologizing for the delay in getting this October 2023 reading to you. I went on vacation in the middle of October and then got really sick upon my return. And then after getting sick, I actually had problems with my sciatica. And so it brings me to November until I finally felt like I was in a position where I could sit down and do tarotscopes and readings. So again, I do apologize, but I wanted to bring this information to you still. So we're kind of going to time travel and really take a look at what October looked like for you. We're going to be kind of diving backwards. So, I hope, or I intend on these readings providing clarity or confirmation for anything that may have taken place for you last month or in October 2023. So October was a universal 8-month, and it brings forward this energy of renewal and reminds us that all things in life are connected to the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Last month, we were asked to focus on universal connectedness and collective humanity. We also had this energy coming through of self-empowerment that pulled us toward expansion, growth, and divine compassion. So looking back at October 2023, we're going to look at the overall energy for you, what came to an end, what was rebirthed, renewed, or has begun. And we're going to also look at the wisdom that would best support your healing, growth, and evolution based on what took place for you in October. So let's dive in, Scorpio, and see what showed up for you. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, spirits, guides, angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, tell us about the overall energy of October 2023 for Scorpio. Tell us, please. Okay, thank you. Tell us, please, what came to an end for Scorpio last month, October 2023. That's too many. Let's get a nice, clear message, please. Thank you. Tell us what was rebirthed, renewed, or began for Scorpio last month, October 2023. What was rebirthed, renewed, or began for Scorpio last month? Ooh, that's too many. Nice, clear message, please. What was rebirthed, renewed, or began for Scorpio last month, October 2023, please? Thank you. And what... No, why you got all sorts of messages jumping out, Scorpio? Tell us, please, what wisdom would best support healing, growth, and evolution? Thank you. We do have lots of decks that we're using for this Tarotscope, so I do appreciate your patience. Tell us more, please, about the overall energy for October 2023 for Scorpio. Tell us more, please, about the overall energy of October 2023 for Scorpio. Okay, thank you. Tell us more, please, what came to an end for Scorpio last month, October 2023. Tell us more, please. What came to an end? All right, thank you. Tell us more, please. What was rebirthed, renewed, or began for Scorpio last month, October 2023, please? Tell us more. Tell us more, please. What was rebirthed, renewed, or began for Scorpio last month? Oh, good golly. I'm feeling like it's those. All right. That was wild, you guys. I don't think I've ever had that happen in all the time I've been doing this. So I don't know why, but for some reason I feel like you may have completed a cycle. I don't know. It's really quite interesting to me. Take it if it resonates. Okay, so tell us more, please, about what wisdom would best support Scorpio's healing, growth, and evolution based on what showed up for them. Okay, that one too. Thank you. What else do we need to know, please, about the overall energy of October 2023 for Scorpio? What else do we need to know, please? Thank you. What else do we need to know about what came to an end for Scorpio last month, October 2023? What else do we need to know, please, about what came to an end for Scorpio in October 2023? What else do we need to know, please, about what came to an end for Scorpio last month, October 2023? There it is. Thank you. What else do we need to know about what was reborn, renewed, or began for Scorpio last month, October 2023, please? Thank you. What else do we need to know, please, about the wisdom that would best support Scorpio's healing, growth, and evolution based on what came through for them last month, October 2023, please? All right, thank you. And finally, anything else we need to know or may have missed about the overall energy of October 2023 for Scorpio? Anything we need to know or may have missed, please? All right. Thank you. Anything we need to know or may have missed about what came to an end for Scorpio? All right. Thank you. Anything else? That's too many. Let's get a nice clear message, please. Anything else we need to know or may have missed about what was reborn, renewed, or began for Scorpio in October 2023, please? Anything we need to know or may have missed about what was reborn, renewed, or began for Scorpio last month, October 2023, please? Anything we need to know or may have missed? Thank you. Anything we need to know or may have missed in regards to the wisdom that would best... Okay, thank you. All right, let us dive in. So the overall energy of October 2023 for you, Scorpio, you do have Pleiades, double mission, channeling, uplifting humanity. I really feel like October for you, I don't know why, but it feels like epiphanies. I feel like light switches turning on. For some of you, you may have been made aware of the difference you make in the lives of others. For some of you, this may have come through around or during your birthday. You may have gotten some kind of, maybe you had a conversation or got some kind of note or something where you were made aware of how much you like, how do I say this? It really does feel like the impact that you make on the lives of others. That may not resonate with everyone, but as far as like the birthday energy is concerned, but I do feel like in some way or another, you may have been made aware of how you impact the lives of other people, and more specifically, how you uplift them. Um, the joy that you bring to their life, the happiness, or what you mean to certain people. And for whatever reason, I feel like some of you may have not been aware of this. For whatever reason, I feel like you may have maybe not acknowledged this for yourself. But it does feel like you may have been recognized in some way, shape, or form, or the awareness was brought to you. Um, yeah, like I'm actually kind of seeing it in some cases, almost like this gold star. I feel like it really kind of, if this resonates with you, I feel like it may have kind of lit you up from the inside. Because again, I feel like there, for whatever reason, you may not have been deeply aware of, or maybe you didn't take it seriously or something, or maybe you didn't know the depth, um, that you impact others. But I feel like this could have been brought to your attention. Okay. It feels like you were, again, I don't know. What you mean to other people may have been brought to the forefront of your reality last month. And so, it feels like you may have gotten some kind of recognition or had some kind of epiphany or something. And I think that's beautiful. Because I feel like, how do I say this? Scorpio, I feel like you have far more value to others than what you allow yourself to believe, or have allowed yourself to believe in the past. We do have the Two of Pentacles here for you, which, yeah, again, I feel like maybe you didn't know how important you are to some people. This is a really interesting energy to come through for this card specifically, because it's, typically one where I would say, you're juggling facets of yourself, and you need to make yourself a priority or bring things into balance, or this, that, and the other. And it's interesting how intuitively this energy is coming through as more of, again, maybe you didn't realize how much of a priority you are to somebody, how much you mean to somebody, like how high up on their list you are. Um, I don't know why. It's a really interesting energy, and I mean, I love it for you, but it's not one that I would expect to get. I do find it quite fascinating that we have double mission, right, meaning two, and then we have the Two of Pentacles here as well. Oh, this is really interesting. So I'm getting this message of, like, how do I say this? Again, it's coming to the forefront, highlighting how important you are in the lives of others. But I feel like, for whatever reason, it feels as though, like I said, it's like you didn't put yourself, like you didn't see yourself at the front. Almost as if, if someone had to choose between you and someone else, they would choose someone else, type of thing. It's really quite interesting. Um, your partnerships may have kind of been lifted up, if you will. How do I say this? They may have grown or evolved in some kind of way. I find this to be really interesting. Let me know if this resonates with you. You also have Gaia Gateway activation, learning experiences, wisdom transmission, earth intelligence. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because it feels like, I feel like you could have released some kind of fear. And maybe this comes from, again, feeling like you are important, feeling like you are a priority to someone, feeling like they would choose you, feeling like you matter. Um, it feels as though, how do I say this? It feels like, again, the overall energy is really bringing forward this, my existence on this planet matters. I feel like you learn something about yourself. Um, and you're, again, I keep being brought back to your, like, the weight or the importance of you being a part of the lives of others. I don't know what this is. Um, I love it for you because it feels like, almost like, oh, finally, like, I feel like seen, I feel validated, I feel, um, oh, I don't even know how else to explain that. But it feels like, again, like, I feel like you learned something about your place on the planet in some way, shape, or form, or like what you're doing here, or what you have done here. And you know what's really interesting about this is I feel like for you, how do I say this? I feel like for you, it's like there's almost this energy of, but I haven't really done anything. Like, I've just been myself. I've just, you know, gone about my life. Like I just feel like you may not have felt like you're anything special. But simply by you being who you are, um, I feel like you've made a tremendous impact on certain individuals. And, just by being yourself, you are special, right? That, like, there's great power and influence and meaning, importance to you just being who you are. This is wild. I don't know. I love this for you, but it's such an interesting energy coming through with cards that I wouldn't expect it to come through in on. But I love it. Because again, I feel like there's this, it's almost this light from within. It's almost like it lights you up from within. You also have here peacefulness. You recognize that balance, kindness, and love bring calmness to your soul. Yeah, again, it's interesting. The overall energy is just, like I said, just by being you, just by being kind, just by, being loving, just by, again, just being who you are. I feel like whatever validation you received or whatever recognition you received, there comes this sense of peace with it. Because I feel like, again, maybe before you didn't feel special, you didn't feel like you mattered all that much. Maybe you felt like someone would choose someone else over you. And there's this sense of calm and peace, in knowing that you carry that weight in someone else's world. And again, maybe some of you experience this around your birthday, okay? But that doesn't have to be the case. It's really, I don't know what it is. You guys, like, okay, I feel like the reason why I'm sitting here and this confusion is like manifesting in my body, because I feel like for some of you, you're like, I don't get it. Like, why am I so special? Like, why, you know what I mean? Like, there's this feeling of like, I don't understand why I'm so important to you, or why you care about me so much, or why you love me so much, or something like that. Right? There's an element of, I just don't quite understand it. I feel like that's manifesting in me as confusion, because, for that reason. But again, I feel like there's a sense of calm, or just kind of, wow, like, I didn't realize that I meant so much to someone else. And I feel like it brings this level of peace within yourself. I hope that makes sense. So let's take a look at what came to an end for you in the month of October. Oh, yeah, we have don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? I really like, wow. Okay, because here's the thing, right? I feel like whatever happened, however this may have shown up for you, if you resonate with this, I feel like what came to an end is like, oh, like, you mean to say that you just like me for me, so I can just keep doing that? Right? It feels like, What has come to an end is like, oh, people like me for myself, so I don't have to hide that anymore. I don't have to be afraid of my own light. I don't have to be afraid of who I am. Like, I can just keep being me, and this is good. Like, I know that's kind of like, I don't know. I just feel like this card is so self-explanatory, right? Like I feel like I don't have very much more to offer intuitively, because it really does feel like, wow, I can just be me, and like people like that. Who would have knew? Like, who would have thought? Right? Like, I don't know why it feels like that, but it does. And I love this. I feel like it's so powerful. You also have two, wow, another two of swords in the reverse. Yeah, it's really quite interesting because, again, I feel like previously there's this energy of like questioning yourself, questioning your moves, questioning how you speak and what you do, and all the things, right? It really feels like this indecisiveness, again, confusion. Like, I don't know, should I do this? Like, if people gonna hate me if I do this? Are people gonna not like me if I do this? You know, type of thing. And I feel like this is coming to an end, because I feel like you're now in this position where you're like, this is who I am, and people like it, and I like it, and that's freaking fantastic, right? It feels very kind of, even though it feels like an epiphany and it feels like this weight that's been lifted, it also feels very kind of like, huh. Like, I don't know. It's a really interesting energy to be feeling. Again, I would love to know if this resonates with you, because it's fascinating to me. Um, I really just feel like there's this, almost like this surprise, like, oh, I don't have to hide who I am because people like me. Wow. You do have here karmic board clearing, energetic clearing, rewrite your story, live your truth. Yes. Right? This is probably going to be one of the shorter readings of October, because I feel like this is so synchronistic. It's so self-explanatory. It is so like, boom, 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 this is what it is. But here's the thing, right? What came to an end? There's this energy of clearing out old stories that you created about yourself. By the way, like, I just felt some of y'all get triggered. I just felt some of y'all like tighten up a little bit. Um, but that's the truth. Okay, we're gonna call a spade a spade. Okay, that's just how I roll. So I feel like what came to an end is you have rewritten the stories that you told yourself, because someone else said, "Hey, this is what it is." Right? Someone else may have recognized you in a way that you didn't feel recognized before. And so now you're like, oh, that you mean that story is a lie? This one where I've been worried about who I am, this one where I've been, you know, kind of paranoid about being myself. You mean people just like me? So it's really interesting, because I feel like, you rewrote your own story, where you're now like, oh, I can just be myself. I can just live my truth. I can just put down these these beliefs that I had about myself and move forward. Right? So I feel like what's come to an end is these old stories that you were telling yourself, right? This not living in your truth, or feeling like you need to be paranoid or worried or indecisive about how you're moving in the world. It's incredible. It really, really is. You have satisfaction. You let the energy of love guide you to self-approval, so that others no longer define you. It's really interesting, because here's the thing. I'm feeling like almost like this, how do I say? So, like, I feel like on one side of things, like, you knew to some degree or another that there was something about you that other people appreciated, or or that you have value, okay? But I feel like there's that, like, monster, if you will, trauma, wounding, programming, whatever, that's been in the back of your head, where again, you were telling yourself this story, and maybe this is experiences you've had where you haven't felt like you were enough, or you felt like people were very judgy, or people got you all wrong, or whatever it is. And I feel like there's this element here of, somebody has just pointed it out to you, and you're just like, huh, like I don't need to worry about what other people think, actually, because the people that matter see me for who I am, and they appreciate that. And again, so now I feel like there's been this kind of level of satisfaction that you found in being exactly who you are, right? And so now, it feels like what's come to an end is that need for self-approval, that paranoia or that worry or that anxiety about being who you are, and other people accepting that. Okay? It's really interesting. Gosh, I mean, I love this so freaking much. There's a lot of green energy here with the Power of Love activation cards as well. And I feel, that green energy is very healing. It's also connected to the heart chakra, which is this more, when it's out of balance, okay, it's very codependent, right? So you seek that approval, right? You need others to validate you. Whereas, when it's more open, we are able to give ourselves that love. We're not so worried about how people may perceive us, right? I love this. I really, really love this for you. So what has been reborn, renewed, or has begun for you, Scorpio, throughout the month of October? You do have keepers of the earth. You are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. So for some of you, you may have tapped into the fact that you truly are not alone, that, there are angels, there are ancestors, there are other beings or entities that are with you. You may have felt them or experienced them in some way, shape, or form, and have kind of been turned on, if you will, to that ability. Okay, that may be yeah, like the ability to communicate with them or to experience them. This may not have been something that you had experienced previously, or maybe you did but kind of shut it off, or closed off to it. For others of you, I feel like what has been renewed within you, or has begun within you, is this acknowledgement that you are not alone, right? That there are people who appreciate you and admire you, love you, care for you, just the way you are. I feel as though, in this, it's interesting because for whatever reason, some of you may have had this belief that maybe like only your family or only your person, or maybe there was like one person or two people who really cared about you. And I feel like this has been, how would I say, this is grown. It feels like, oh, like I'm actually not alone. Because how do I say this, you guys? It's such an interesting energy. You guys are so fascinating to me. Because it feels like there's an aspect here where you felt alone to some degree or another, even if you aren't physically alone, right? Even if you have like a person, a partner, whatever it is, or even if you have family close to you or something, it feels like there, to some degree or another, you felt alone somehow. And what has been renewed within you, or what has been reborn or has begun, is that you don't feel alone now. Again, because I feel like you feel seen. Okay? And, I just want to point out what I find to be interesting here is there's this, being here, there's the moon, and then there's that, ancestor there. That moon energy is a representation of, confusion or fear, illusion. And, I feel like this is what you have seen through, right? You've seen through the illusion. You've released the fear. And I feel like this is based around stories that you told yourself. We also have here for you judgment in the reverse. Yeah, you saw yourself in a very harsh light. You had this very skewed way of seeing yourself. Okay. And again, I feel like this has been clarified for you. Okay. Um, yeah, I really feel like there is this lack of perspective and something in the month of October. You're right. Maybe it wasn't necessarily somebody telling you outright, but something happened where I feel like this has been clarified. The illusion has been like smashed through. Okay. So I feel like your perspective, your perception of yourself has been renewed or has been changed in some kind of way. Ooh, yes, you have the Five of Swords here as well in the reverse. And this is an energy of it can be one of like holding on to resentments, wanting to find forgiveness or wanting to reconcile. And it's, how do I say this? I really feel like there's been this heart opening. I mean, you have so much green energy. I feel like there's been this heart opening. Something happened where that shell around your heart just kind of cracked open. And I feel like this skewed self-image, um, or this skewed perspective that you had of yourself, what has been kind of broken through. Um, and it feels like how do I say it feels like you've like begun this process of kind of, I don't want to say unfolding that, but reconciling that, right? Um you may have even like been in a space where you kind of came to this understanding like, oh, this is something I created myself, like I need to forgive. And even if you haven't like talked to, let's say, people face to face or something like this, I feel like there's this energy of like forgiving, whether it be yourself or others, for the story that was created. You guys, your energy is like ridiculously fascinating to me because it's almost like again, like I'm struggling to kind of make sense of it because I feel like maybe it doesn't fully make sense to you just yet. But certainly it feels as though things are shifting and the story that you're telling yourself is different. So, according to the guidebook, which I just wanted to check here, it does say in the Shadow Seer or reverse position for the Five of Swords, deceitful strategies and feeling guilty about your win, resentment, a desire for peace, the realization that there are no winners. And it says, in the shadow, we learn that winning isn't everything, especially when deceit is a part of the strategy. The obsessive desire to win can have us stopping at nothing to feel victorious, and in the long run, we risk everything we've built along the way. You may find yourself a few steps backward after winning if you are not bringing your integrity to the game. So, it feels to me, how do I say this? It feels, yes, okay. So part of what I'm really getting here is this energy of, again, like that skewed self image or that very harsh judgment of self. And that, again, desire for peace. Like, I feel like there's been this want to, or desire to not feel like you, how do I say? It's like I just want to feel like at home in my own body. I just want to feel at peace in my own body, in my own way of being, in myself, right? And interestingly, I feel like some people may have even made a comment to you or said something along the lines of like, you try too hard, or you may have felt, maybe somebody didn't say that to you outright, But maybe you felt like in situations like they were kind of indicating to you that you're too much, you know? It's really quite interesting because I feel like you may have been like almost like throwing yourself forward because you felt like you weren't worthy or felt like you weren't enough or you felt like you were alone and you just wanted to be seen. Um, and there was that desire for like just feeling at peace in your own body. And I feel like this is what is starting for you. I feel like this is shifting, right? And perhaps some of you, it's with the aid of those, ancestors or angels or guides or beings that you can't necessarily see with your physical eyes. But I feel like it's more so connected to the feeling like, oh, I'm not alone. Oh, I don't have to hide from who I am. Oh, I don't have to have this perspective of myself. I don't have to try very hard, right? Like I can just be at peace in myself. Yeah, look at this. Another freaking five. So you may have been seeing through the month of October or moving forward, repeating twos or repeating fives. I mean, you have two of pentacles, two of swords, the judgment, which is the number 20, or if we reduce it, two. And then you have the five of swords, now the five of pentacles. So again, the five of pentacles is this energy of lack. Okay, it is this like left out in the cold kind of energy. And I feel as though, again, what is being renewed or rebirthed in you is shifting that. Okay, it is shifting this very skewed, harsh view, perspective that you've had of yourself. And I feel like the reason why is because you realize you're not alone. You realize that people do see you and acknowledge you and appreciate you for exactly who you are. And that, trigger warning, you have created this story within yourself where you've essentially made yourself the victim, where you've made yourself feel like you're not enough, you made yourself feel ostracized, and for some, maybe it's because you've taken things that others have said or done or whatever, and you've taken them to heart and you've believed them, and you just carried them with you, right? There's this energy of insecurity with the five of pentacles. So again, I feel like this is what is being renewed, again, this, you are not alone. There's a change that has taken place there. Wow, lots of karmic release for you, Scorpio, for the month of October. You do have ancestral realm, karmic release, healing the lineage, and boundaries, and more green as well. I do feel like this karmic release has taken place for you, which has renewed, how do I say this? I feel like it's renewed again how you see yourself and your position in the world. It's interesting that we would have, keepers of the earth, ancient ancestors stand beside you with healing the lineage and the ancestral realm. So I definitely feel like whatever's taken place here for you has not only created healing for you, but also for your ancestral line. I feel like you have support here. I feel like there's been, how do I say this? There have been certain things that have been orchestrated and taken place that you are probably completely unaware of, which have brought this about. Okay, so I don't know how to say it. So for example, if somebody said something to you, let's say, which caused you to see yourself in a different light, they may have felt intuitively guided to say those things. Okay, so it really does feel like this is like a whole big operation is what it feels like. I also feel like what has begun within you or been renewed or reborn are these boundaries, because I feel as though, and it's not boundaries with other people, I feel like this is boundaries within yourself. I feel like for some of you, there's this energy of, let's say, negative self-talk starts coming in. You're like, nope, we're not doing that. Right? I feel like we're not going backward. We're not diving into that again. So I feel, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like you created these boundaries for yourself, which may be helping you to continue to release, to continue to rewrite the story, to continue to put you in a position where you are living your truth. It really feels like, I'm not repeating the same stuff. Wow. This is so fascinating to me. So finally, for what is being reborn, renewed, or is beginning, you have loyalty. Your reliability demonstrates your loving sense of devotion and consistency of being. Yeah. And, I feel like whatever happened sparked this for you, right? Or either sparked it or really drove it home throughout the month of October. Because again, here's the thing: it's your reliability demonstrates your loving sense of devotion and consistency of being. Because I feel like those who really truly know you, like they see the same you, right? And those who truly see you probably have recognized that you haven't seen yourself in the same light that they've seen you in, right? That you've had this kind of skewed perspective. And so I just feel like for some, like they've pointed out for you, like, no, actually this is who you are, from an outsider's perspective. Again, with the green, like it's wild to me how much green has shown up for you. Yeah. I mean, I really just feel like there's been this renewed sense of it's okay for me to be me, to be loyal to my truth, to be loyal to who I am, to continue to, do what I've always done, to speak how I've always spoken, to move how I've always moved, and to be consistent with who I am. I feel like there's been this appreciation for that. And again, I feel like this has been renewed or has been reborn in you or has been shown to you, um, in some kind of way. Gosh, I love this. Okay, the wisdom that will best support your healing, growth, and evolution based on what has come through for you in the month of October. We have Mintaken, longing for home, belonging, the original. Light workers. I do have some fear coming up. I feel like part of the wisdom here is to not backstep, right? Don't let those, kind of like this paranoia or this skewed self-image or this kind of destructive kind of nature within, to skew or to kind of like dig its claws back in, right? Because I do feel like there's this energy of like, if you're longing for home, you are longing for that alignment or unity with the truth within. You are longing for that unity within yourself, that acceptance of yourself, that acknowledgement of yourself, right? If you feel like you don't belong, it's because you are likely rejecting parts of yourself. And so, the wisdom I feel that's going to best support your healing, growth, and evolution based on everything that's come through in the month of October for you is to continue acknowledging that you are at home in yourself, that you belong, that you're not out of place, that you're exactly where you need to be, that you are okay being exactly who you are, right? I just love this. Even though it's baffling to me in some ways, I love it for you. We do have the Empress out for you. Here's the thing. This feels very much like, how do I say? So first of all, I feel like this is about nurturing. exactly who you are, continuing to kind of stoke that fire, as it were. And there's another aspect of this. So the Empress is this energy of like being very abundant, or being very aware that, there's abundance all around. And you can tap into that. So, how do I say this? This feels like, fostering your happiness and creating happiness by recognizing how do I say this? Like, how abundant, no, how do I put this, please? What? Yes, thank you. It is essentially, again, recognizing and acknowledging the abundance that you bring into the lives of others simply by being. Because here's the thing, the Empress knows that she doesn't have to chase anything, because the universe is abundant, she is abundant. And that's how this is coming through. Okay? So simply by nurturing who you are and being your creative, you know, um, how do I say, your creative self, right? By, how do I say, being like naturally yourself, you bring, uh, you bring things to the lives of others, right? So there's very much this wisdom around, again, being yourself, um and not chasing things. Like, you bring enough just by being who you are. I hope that makes sense. Yes, Eight of Swords in the reverse, freeing yourself from victim stories. You know, how do I say, accepting yourself, gaining these new perspectives. So again, the wisdom that's best going to support you is seeing yourself from this perspective, this abundant perspective, the abundance that you provide simply by being you. You don't have to, put glitter, gold, and embellishments to be worthy. Okay? There is this energy here with the Eight of Swords and the wisdom coming through that says, free yourself from these stories that you've been telling yourself. Keep freeing yourself from them. See yourself as abundant, right? Accept yourself for who you are. Knowing, again, that you belong exactly the way you are. Okay? You already belong. You're exactly where you need to be, right? You don't have to do anything. You also have here higher heart activation, dropping shields, divine love. Your heart is healed. Like I said, heart chakra healing. All the green. You cannot make this stuff up. The other aspect of this is, I feel like the wisdom here is to continue to drop those shields. You don't have to be paranoid, right? Welcome in that divine love, because I feel like what you've been shown, okay, the truth that you've been made aware of does come from that more, let's say, pure divine love. And it is meant to heal your heart. It is meant for you to drop those shields, right? To find peace, and comfort in being exactly who you are and loving that, right? Because that heart chakra is not just about a relationship with others. It is, and love isn't just about a relationship with others. It is about the relationship with ourselves and the love that we give to ourselves. So it's like, this is how people see you. And, the whole point is for you to now see, acknowledge, accept, and move in that same way, to allow yourself to see yourself in the same light. And again, I feel like some of you are kind of like, I never would have thought. Like, you may have kind of taken it a little, I don't even know what the word is, by surprise, maybe. But I feel like, this is about moving forward and embodying that. Okay? I just want to, I don't know why, but for some reason I'm feeling kind of like this crampy feeling manifesting in my body, in my abdomen, which the abdomen is like very much like the Virgo area. So for some of you this may be coming, or some of what you've been releasing or working on or healing or something may have something to do with a Virgo. I don't know why, but it's really weird how I'm like getting this like pain in my abdomen area. Hmm. I just want to, it's interesting. I just want to share with you. So I have like this little kind of like cheat sheet thing off to the side over here in regards to, the different body parts and how they're connected to which zodiac. And there are these symbolic zones of tension. And so I was just checking out the Virgo part, right, with that lower abdomen and tension being held there. Um, and there is this, what is it? It's like relief is needed from thoughts, right? So I feel like, again, this could have something to do with a Virgo, or it very much could be maybe a Virgo in your chart or something. Um, but it feels like, there's that, like, I think this is how people feel about me, and you may overthink, right? Which is maybe why there's been this indecisive kind of energy. But I feel like there's like free yourself from that. Okay. You don't have to overthink. Like if somebody says like I love you, I care for you, I accept you, like take them at face value, right? If they prove to you otherwise, fine, but it's like take them for what they say, right? Like I feel like there's like this need to not overthink things. So finally, you have here for the wisdom that will best support your healing, growth, and evolution, vision. No matter what, you see the bigger picture of a loving, just universe. Um, I actually want to read from the guidebook for you about this card. But before I do that, I feel like the wisdom, here is to see the bigger picture. The truth of the matter is, Scorpio, that not everyone is going to love you. Not everyone is going to accept you. Not everyone is going to acknowledge you. Not everyone is going to appreciate you. And that's fine. The people who are meant to will. There will be people who take the time to see you for who you truly are, and they will appreciate you. Okay? Those are the people that matter. Those are the people who will support and nurture you exactly as you are. Okay? I feel like there's like, look at the bigger picture here. It's not the quantity, it's the quality. Okay? So let me just find this guidebook here. There it is. And read to you more about this vision energy. Okay. So again, keep in mind, this is the wisdom that will best support your healing, growth, and evolution based on what's come through in the month of October. Now that your blinders are coming off, you are able to see the world and beyond the physical through your spiritual vision. You are embracing the sacred mission, which is the reason you agreed to participate in this dimension. You can envision a universe so vast, beautiful, and spectacular that miracles are a part of your everyday experience. Your higher intellect has been stimulated, and you can recognize the higher essence of other souls and know their lessons. You are able to grasp the difficult lessons of grief, loss, and sorrow, seeing them as experiences from which to grow. Spiritual guides, angels, and master teachers are drawn to you, whether you are aware of their presence or not. You have agreed on a soul level to be a conduit of deep spiritual truths, which you easily manifest into the physical. You have a strong intuitive sense of what you need to do on a large scale to bring your vision to the masses. This may be through creative arts such as writing, singing, painting, or speaking, or as a spiritual practitioner. As you embrace and live out your vision, you remind others how to dance to the tune of divinity and the oneness of being. Right? So, I feel like it's interesting to me that we kind of start the reading with this double mission, right? Channeling and uplifting humanity. And we close the reading with a very similar type of energy, right? Because I feel like the things that you're learning currently, Scorpio, or have learned through the month of October, are connected to that on a deeper level, right? I feel like it's a piece of the puzzle, right? A piece of the bigger picture that will unfold as time progresses. And it feels as though, that last statement there really kind of stands out, right? You remind others how to dance to the tune of divinity and the oneness of being. Because again, I feel like you've been being yourself, but you may have felt like that wasn't good enough, or you felt like it wasn't enough, or you felt like it was weird, or people didn't get it, or they didn't care, or you didn't matter, or whatever the case may be. And now that you're kind of moving through that, I feel like there's this energy of moving you or setting you up, if you will, to be in a position where you shine your light, right? Where you don't dim to fit in, where you are simply yourself. And by doing so, right, it plays into that bigger purpose. And for some of you, I feel like it's simply, being yourself, acknowledging that, embracing it, loving it, and by that act alone, you're like giving people a permission to do the same. And that may be part of your overall mission, right? How you are going to be impactful on the world. um of course, right, was as with everything on this channel, take what resonates with you and leave the rest. But I pray that something here has provided clarity or confirmation for you in whatever it is that you've experienced through the month of October 2023. I pray that it's provided value in some way, shape, or form, and maybe helps you navigate certain experiences as you move forward. If something here has resonated for you in some way, shape, or form, please do the YouTube things by liking, sharing, commenting below, or subscribing. It tells YouTube that there may be something valuable here for someone else, and I greatly, greatly appreciate you doing so. It also is very helpful for me. I find great value in your feedback and appreciate it tremendously, so thank you for doing that. However October has unfolded for you, I truly hope that you are able to see the incredible, valuable, beautiful, perfect being that you are, and that you influence others tremendously simply by being yourself. And that is of great value for those that are in your life and the collective at large. Take care of your evolving, growing, wondrous, glorious, beautiful soul. Peace be with you and within you, and I hope to see you again for November 2023's Tarotscope. Bye.